stylistics, Mick Jagger and others, and we'll be talking a little bit more about some of those great people you have performed with over the years. Now, a big hit, of course, back in 1973, and when I was in, I think it must have been junior high school, just entering high school at the time, believe it or not, I used to listen to a great song called The Sideshow.
Yeah.
And not only was it great, it was my ultimate favorite song, I have to say, and during that period of time. And such great lyrics in that song, and a big hit, of course, and played on all the major radio stations across the United States, including WABC here in New York City, of course.
Yes.
And I believe stations like in Philly and FIL and
WDS.
Yeah, right, and all those great stations. So, how did that? People are calling up and they're emailing now and wanted me to ask you about the Sideshow. That particular song, how did that all come to be, and who put that all together, and what should everyone know about that song that made it such a gigantic hit?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll start off and Keith can finish it up. During that period of time, Norman Harris was our producer. Now, we were like 21, 22. We didn't know anything about the business that much. We knew what we liked to hear. We didn't realize that you needed a crossover song. So when they played Sideshow for us, we said, what is that? To us, because it was pop sounding. We had What's Come Over Me, Stop to Start, Spell. It was all like soulful. Now you come with this song that sounds a little different from what we've been doing. Norman Harris, our producer, said, look, you do this song, and I guarantee you'll get $1 million sellers. And we said, okay, Norman, we're going to trust you. So Bobby Eli and Vinnie Barrett, they wrote the song, and Norman Harris produced it. But like I said, to us, if it was up to us, that song probably wouldn't have been on the album.
It would not.
It took a genius to figure out what we needed to cross over to the pop market, and that's exactly what that song did.
How did you come up with the name The Sideshow?
Bobby Eli and Vinnie Barrett, they wrote the song. So I don't know. What do you say, Keith? How do you think it came up?
Okay, yeah. I had talked to Vinnie and Bobby about that song there, and they were together, and they were at a carnival. And they saw how the spinning wheel goes around and whatever, and they just created that song from being there, and knowing about how people hurt so much, like See the Man with the Broken Heart, and they just put a few lyrics down, and then when they got back to the studio, they put the whole thing together. And they presented it to, like Wendell said, to Norman, and Norman presented it to us. Mm-hmm. And on our second album, we had Three Ring Circus. So they had us on the circus ride.
Quite a ride, huh?
Right. And when we were on tour, we was on tour in the Caribbean, we got a phone call from Bobby Eli, and Norman says, guess what? No, it was from Alan and Steve, our managers back then, which was WMOT, We Men of Talent, saying, you won't believe this, you guys just went gold. And you are nominated for the newest group of the year. Oh boy, we was in the Caribbean, so it got crazy. We just jumped in the air. We could not believe our good fortune. And what we do, we believe in each other as singers and everything, because like Wendell said, we was doing, Spell on My Mind, and that went up the charts a little bit, and then we did What's Come Over Me, and that went up the charts, and my friend's song over here, Just Don't Want to Be Lonely, but when they put Sideshow off, we shot up the charts. So that enabled us to work with so many different groups, pop groups and everything, and it enabled us to work with the Rolling Stones, and we're just blessed.
And I want to add to that just a little bit. We're from Philly, but in Philly, you had Philly International, which Kenny Gamble.
Sure.
Okay. The guys that got us together, they were two shoe salesmen, two Jewish guys. All they had was sell shoes. And that's where our first office was, on the top of a shoe store. They got Norman Harris, who played with Tom Bell,
Right.
Linda Creed, and played for Philly International. But now he advanced over to these two guys, Alan and Steve, and they convinced him to produce us. So a lot of people hear about Philly International. We wasn't part of that. But the people that played on the music for them,
Same musicians.
same musicians. That's why if you listen to Stop to Start, and you make me feel brand new, the similarities between the tenor and the baritone.
Very similar.
Right. So Norman was bringing the sound of Philly International over to this other company. They didn't like that. They didn't like that. You know, we know what happened. So anyway, they told Norman not to do it, not to produce anymore, because we were biting off of what they created. But for some reason, money, Norman decided, I'm going to do it. And it's a strange thing that happened. I guess it's okay. It's the truth. I'm not lying. When we went to do the second album, Norman came in and his arm was broke. He couldn't play the guitar, you know. So he said he slipped in the swimming pool. But see, the politics in this business can be it's something else. That's the part that people don't know about. Even like what happened with Teddy Pendergrass and his manager. You know, how somebody wanted him so bad, what they would do to get him. I don't know if you know that story, but I won't go fully into it. But anyway, he had a female manager that something happened to her and they got Teddy. It's a lot of politics in this business. That's why we were taught in the beginning, show business is 10% show, 90% business.
People should know that. And
They should,
in
but
fact,
they don't.
And they really need
They
to know
don't
that.
know. And the thing is, you find these young artists like a Justin Bieber or something like that. See, we were told something when we first came out. A disc jockey in Philly, Georgie Woods.
Oh, Georgie Woods.
You know Georgie Woods? He said to us, he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, I don't like you guys. We said, why? He said, you didn't pay no dues.
Why?
We didn't. Dues is the OJs didn't have a hit record right out the box. Temptations, no hit record out the box. Four Tops, no hit record. All those groups had to go through the Chitlin circuit, work here and here and here before they got a hit record. The era we came through, hit record was on your first time out. You didn't appreciate how you got to where you are because you didn't pay no dues. I didn't understand what he meant then, but I understand it now. And then I see it in the artists of today. They don't pay no dues. And they come out, and then all of a sudden they wonder why they run around, they crazy, get out their mind, and doing all this crazy stuff.
Everything is instant.
Yeah. And see, if you are given something without paying for it,
You feel entitled.
yeah. And see-
Entitlement.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So back in the day, there was no entitlement. You had to work through the Chitlin circuit and through these lower levels before, like, the Spinners used to drive the Temptations around as a chauffeur. The Spinners, you know? So it was a thing of paying dues to appreciate when you got the success. They're giving success to young artists today that have no morals about how they got to where they are. And then they go wild out there and do crazy things.
Sounds a little like the radio business in a sense, or other parts of the other businesses, I'm sure, that
Yeah.
that just want to, suddenly they were on the top before they had to pay their dues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At 6 radio stations before they came to New York.
Yeah.
They already started in New York.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the same thing.
It's
that-
a mind
in
thing,
sense.
really, yeah. And you don't appreciate it. You know, it's just like if somebody just give you something, you don't appreciate it that much. If you had to work for it now, you appreciate it because you got it.
What's one other historical moment that comes to your mind, Keith Wendell, Robert, about the music, about some of the great songs that you've done, or just being some of the history that you think is really necessary, that you think that pops into your mind now that would be of interest to share now on the radio?
To me, that's Wendell. The music that we created and made during that period of time, it was a message in the music, and the message was, to me, came from God. I just have to say it, okay? And he was the author of what was going on then, in that period of time. If you listen to all the music and what it's saying, like we did a song called Stop to Start, the very first time I looked at you since the day, that's all I can do. That could have been a man and a woman, or it could have been the one who made you saying the same thing. I got a song where I do sing a part where it's in spells called You Made a New Man of Me, Now I Feel Heavenly. Okay? So sometimes when you can go to the source of where you came from and get what he has for you, you can feel heavenly. Now, no woman can really make you feel heavenly. I mean, she make you feel good, but take it as far as... Look at
Keith, can we recreate, obviously,
Yes.
recreate some of those moments from the period of the 60s and 70s, somehow taking some of that genre, that music, and make that happen in 2017 or 2020, since you were just mentioning before, you know, how music has shifted or changed, you know, the design of the type of music. I mean, can that?
No.
No.
You're starting to see artists using elements of that music, but it will never be that music.
No.
They're trying to.
Copy.
You're right. They're integrating
copying.
it. Yeah. When you listen to what's his name, you listen to John Legend and some of his ballads, and listen, it's not quite there, but it'll never be because you don't have the writers, and you don't.
No, you have the writers. The industry changed, okay? It's not the writers. They told them, we don't want that kind of music. We don't want those lyrics like that.
Exactly.
We want rough lyrics, like you got a gun, you beat your woman. They want negativity in the music.
'Cause it sells.
So they told the artists what to bring them and what not to bring them. See, we brought the positive stuff and they loved it, you know? And the people would love whatever we would bring because the radio would play it. But the system itself doesn't want it. Now, you look, they got Donald Trump running for president. Okay? Not to go into political stuff, he said, boing. But look at the system of how we're evolving and what we're evolving into. We're evolving into complete negativity for some reason. And like I said, during that period of time, it was positivity. We had a Vietnam War over there when we came through and did our songs. I had soldiers come back and tell us, yeah, man, we was in the hole and listened to your music. And it soothed us down. There was a prison riot out in California. Guy told us, he said, there's a riot, and they put your music on, the line come, and it calmed them down. So, vice is what the music is today. If you put that music on today, they get worse. You know?
Exactly.
Keith?
Are you guys finished?
Yes.
No, I know when I was coming up, you know, with my family and everything, we used to listen to Johnny Mathis, Little Anthony and the Imperials, the Platters, even the Ink Spots, and I think that after those years, that created a sound for the groups that's coming out in the 60s and the 70s, especially Dionne Ward, you know, with Burt Bacharach and Hal David and everything. And then we just took some of that and added that into Blue Magic. We always want to sing something positive.
Like the sideshow we're going to play right here at WPAT, Then Just Don't Want to Be Lonely, and other great, beautiful music. And
Wonderful.
That's right.
let's play it right
Yes,
here
play
at
it.
WPAT.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's stop you guys decide.
Okay. You're keeping us busy here. We can put labels on it now.
Let's get this commercial together. And just don't want to be lonely.
Have an extra picture or something?
Before the show begins, my friends, stand in line, get your tickets. I hope you will attend. It'll only cost you 50 cents to see what life has done to those like you and me. See the man with the broken heart, you'll see that he is sad.
Not open up with.
He hurts so bad.